I think the best way to listen to this disc is really with your ears as open as possible. This album is all centered around 20th and 21st century repertoire. On one hand, you have the cage, which is for prepared piano, and that's sort of the exception, because everything else is for acoustic piano. Dryly based on a series of intervals. It's a very, very cerebral kind of thing, but it's a formidably driven and exciting piece. There's a Frank Zappa piece for solo piano called Ruth is Sleeping, which I'd wanted to explore for a long time. It was originally actually a piece for synclavier, and it was later arranged for piano duet and then solo piano. A lot of information comes to you at once, at very, very great speed. Yehudi Wyner is a Pulitzer Prize-winning American composer. He wrote this piece 10 or 11 years ago. The reason it's called Refrain is that there is sort of a ritornello that comes back. It's a sort of very spacious thing that just has an occasional note and another. And then the rest of the material is a little bit more active, not adhering to any system. And he's really quite an intuitive composer. And it's been a delight to work on it with him. He's given me some very valuable advice. Wolpe's Passacaglia, it's one of his most famous pieces. It is the fourth of a suite called Four Studies on Basic Rose. The Passacaglia, it's a series of 12 intervals. The strength and the drive behind the music is really quite staggering and quite gripping. So I've known it for about 40 years or maybe even more. I bring it back every maybe 10 years or so. Always find something new in it. But I'm glad I'm finally recording it. I'm glad I waited. Well, Salvatore Martirano is a very interesting case. He was, for a long time, associated with computer music. The Stuck on Stella is more rhapsodically romantic, I think. It's based largely on an octatonic scale and quartal harmony, if you want to get technical. The octatonic scale was used extensively by Messiaen. Martirano uses it in a totally different way. John Oswald's fame rests mainly in a genre that he pretty much single-handedly invented called plunderphonics. He works and reworks existing recorded material in ways which are utterly brilliant. I think he's probably best known for what he did with the Grateful Dead. The piano piece that is on the CD, which he wrote for me, it's called Tip. It has many meanings, but it's mostly because you're trying to recognize things and sometimes you only hear like a few notes, so it could be tip of the iceberg. And if you're trying to recognize the thing, tip of the tongue, the first notes of Furilis are always in the background. Anything from Baroque classical to rock and jazz. The most outrageous is when he combines the Linus and Lucy music from Peanuts cartoons with the first movement of Beethoven's 111. It's really quite brilliant. My own piece is called Hexensabbat, which translates as Witch's Sabbath, something that I wrote recently and that I wanted really for people to hear and for pianists to hopefully play. It ended up being probably the most violent piece I've ever written. Especially the ending is a long crescendo which really gets to an overwhelming amount of climax. We just finished recording it about a couple of hours ago, and it was fun. It was just a lot of fun. Seeing how much sound can accumulate on a really, really good Steinway. So all of the pieces are different in their own way, but they all communicate, I think, very, very strongly their nature and their characteristics. I definitely view myself as a pianist who composes, because translating and channeling other composers' works is much too important, really. That's really what I feel my role is.